Welcome back to Infuse Moods. I'm your main host, Imani, and today I am sipping on. Now I was bamboozled. I thought I picked up this sparkling ice, black cherry. It's one of my faves. Like, you can get that assorted pack that they have, and they'll give you like three or four flavors depending on where you go. And so I thought I had the black cherry in my little pack, but I did not. So I have the cherry limeade. Not hating, still an all around great flavor. It's not my black cherry, so it's fine though. So I'm sipping on that, and I'm going to infuse that with Problems in Us by our artist of the day, and one of my favorite artists, Col3tranes. I first discovered Col3tranes on accident in 2017. I was trying to find some studying music, and he popped up on my Google Play Music. That's when I didn't have Apple Music, and I was dabbling between YouTube Music and Google Play. So he came up on that, and I was immediately sold. And when I hear new music, ask anybody, it's a whole experience for me. I literally will melt into the music. I become the song, and I will wear a song out. Like, I will play it until I feel like I can't play it anymore, but then I do. And then if I rediscover it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember where I was when I heard this. So I was pretty much spinning that out, and I allowed myself to get really lost in the song and the production. And this always happens when I consider a song like a bop or something that has not been done before, so my ears are pleasantly pleased. And it was mesmerizing, and it's literally an earworm for me, and I play it probably at least once a day at this point. So that's just how I stumbled upon Sir Col3tranes. And so a bit of background on Col3tranes. He is a London-born artist, and his real name is Cole Bosta. And he has influences of what I feel is like Prince, Nas. I get a little bit of David Bowie, and I really liked his play on the jazz saxophonist John Coltrane's name. And I assumed that was a hint into what his sound would be like when I first saw it. And again, he just keeps surprising me, and his sound is just so unique. It's really hard to pinpoint. I do think he has a nice blend of rap, jazz, and R&B. Sometimes he has fusion elements, like he knows how to get a pop record out. So he really is just in his own lane. And I love when artists don't confine themselves to one genre, because hey, if you are a music lover, if you're a music artist, your ear is going to be so in tune with every genre, because you're going to pull from it. You're going to be like, oh man, I really like that country record. Oh man, I really like that blues record. You're just really pulling from everything. So I enjoy him for everything that he is. But he also gives me elements of Frank Ocean, but I really don't want to say he's Frank, because he's his own artist. But sometimes when I'm hearing him, I'm like, man, Frank Ocean definitely would put out something like this. So one day I hope the two of them get together and they do something magical in the studio, because I'll be here for it. And he also has a sound that has elements to me of Musiq Soulchild, and a lot of people have slept on Musiq Soulchild over the years, and we probably need to dive into him one day, because put some respect on his name. But anyway, that ability to give that slow R&B, that crooning, that where every song, even though it's not a love song, but it sounds like a love song because it's just deep. Yeah. Like I said, he bends the genre a bit. My goal in life is to see this man live one day. And hopefully I can do that either in the States, or maybe I'll go to the underground music scene in London where he started, because that's where a lot of upcoming artists kind of just tend to pop a bit. And Col3tranes even used Spotify to get more exposure for his music, like a lot of upcoming artists. But my goal, is to see him one day live. I'm literally obsessed with the way he sings and kind of raps in a bit. I like that he's telling stories, and they're very relatable. You can tell that he's drawing from his life, but it also sounds like he's drawing from your life, and you're like, whoa, slow down. Why are you reading me for filth? And he also titles his songs usually around things that aren't typical, so you kind of have to pull from the title and say, how does this relate to this song? Like, he has one called Mario Kart, and you just have to listen to it for yourself. But yeah, I was chopping it up with my bro Quan, and he was like, yeah, Col3tranes finally has some new music on the way. He's gonna drop an album. And he hadn't dropped since 2019 really, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm ready. And I thought I was ready, but I really wasn't. But I knew he was about to bless my ears in time for the summer, and I knew he wasn't gonna let me down, and he really did not disappoint. As I explained on my review for CLB by Drake, I have a whole process for listening to music. You have the car test, you have your shower test, you have so many different tests for not only a single record, but for the whole album. And can you hear it and play it from cover to cover? Or are you skipping around? Because if an artist puts out something, which a lot do, they'll put out like maybe 30 songs and only 2 are really good. And that hurts, because to me, it's a waste of production time. It's a waste of studio time. It's a waste of their time and my time. But hey, you know, artistic expression. Some people think that everything is going to slap, for lack of a better word. And I have to also remind myself that different songs speak to different people, you know, different strokes for different folks. So I may listen to an album and be like, there's only 2 good songs in there. And another person will be like, man, I couldn't put it down. And yeah, I'm gonna be like, okay, all right. Maybe we weren't listening to the same thing. But again, different strokes for different folks. Certain vibes hit certain people. I know I have songs where I'm like, did y'all hear that? And everyone's like, Imani, what are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, never mind. So yeah, but with Col3tranes, he will put out like short projects and it's cover to cover for me. I don't think he has ever missed. I don't think there's a song that I've ever skipped by him. So he passed, like, this is a 5-star album. He passed for me on the car listening, and I played it for cover to cover, no skips. This album is about 34 minutes with 12 tracks. I feel this album is for the summer, but you know, we'll see. Maybe it is just the springtime vibe, but it's definitely giving me a summer feel. Like, I would cruise around to this probably for years to come. So let's get into it. So this is the formula. We're going to go through each track and talk about, you know, whether I picked up on production or my notable bars from the track or influences I picked up on, etc. The first track is called The First Time. It is definitely the intro. Col3tranes seems to be asked when he was, you know, in love for the first time. When did he first fall in love? And he's pondering like, man, really? What? Love? Let me think about that, you know? And I think we all have those moments around anything we have the ability to be in love with, you know, people, places, things. And if someone was to come up to you and be like, hey, when was the first time you fell in love with hip hop? I know that's kind of cliche, but you'd be like, oh, man, the first time? Or, hey, when was the first time you fell deeply in love with jazz? Or, you know, it could be a person. I don't know. It could be food. Like, if they came up to me and was like, when was the first time you fell in love with chocolate chip? I'm like, oof, well, many moons ago. And I remember the exact day. Like, that's a key memory, a core memory. So to me, that's really what the intro was getting at. It was just kind of pondering, and I feel like that was setting the precedent or the tone for the album, but I was a little bit more surprised with how the rest of the flow went. And this one was written by Col3tranes. It's just like a loop, and I don't know, to me it's a great way to open up an album. Track 2 is called Take Notes. Take Notes is kind of a cocky song, you know. I would put that in my Affirm You playlist or my hype mix, because it's almost to let your hater know you are that, like, you are that in a bag of chips, and they are not. Simple. And that, you know, they may be trying to copy everything that you do, but they can't, you know. Often imitate it but never duplicate it, you know. Isn't that what they say? But my favorite was the chorus, and Col3tranes says, you might be a problem with the cause, always on the edge of being lost, trying to be the one who run the game now, but I don't think you ever learn to walk. So everybody listen, if you see little bro, tell him take notes, take notes, take. If you see him, if you see little bro, tell him take notes, take. And I was like, mm-hmm.